Hello everyone, my name is Sachin Dedia. I am a cybercrime investigator, also a certified ethical hacker trained by the EC Council USA. Basically, what does a cybercrime investigator does or do? In a way, we catch the Nigerians who send you all that kind of lottery mails, email spams, Coca-Cola frauds and everything other kind of things. Recently, we have been tracking all the Facebook fake profiles, the scams and everything like that. Apart from that, we are now also tracking the mobile thefts, call interceptions and everything like that. Data recovery, email investigations, IP tracing, registry analysis. That is what comprises of a cybercrime investigator, working with the cyber cell departments or major other government departments, even sometimes with the military and all. Now, apart from that, there is one more certifications that is completely opposite of what does a cybercrime investigator does. That is a certified ethical hacker. Now, the word hacker, it actually means going into somebody else's data, taking out all the information without that other person knowing it, changing the passwords, changing the data, destroying the data, deleting, defamation, stalkings, all that kind of things. Now, as a hacker, we have been certified as a certified ethical hacker, but once you get the kind of knowledge, it's like it's a double-edged sword. How you end up using the knowledge would actually describe you whether you are an ethical hacker or you are only an hacker. Now, throughout this entire presentation, the knowledge which I am about to give you is nothing short of being or making you as a hacker. It's like I am about to sell you a knife. Now, it is up to you whether you use the knife to cut vegetables and make beautiful salads out of it, or you're going to go and kill someone. So the entire knowledge is going to be up to you, how you end up using it. Now we start with the very basic things. It's that how do you use the internet? Most of the time, it is the first thing that most of the time people end up using is what? Facebook. The first thing that people end up opening as soon as you start doing Facebook, then you start with Gmail, then sometimes with Orkut, LinkedIn. And if you got a project work, then we'll start with something known as Google search. That's all. But majority of the time we also download from very popular website by the name of what? www.songs.pk. That is where you get maximum number of free Bollywood songs that are freely available to download. Even if you don't download, your friends will download. Invariably, you will end up getting the songs only from that particular website, which is very, very popular by the name of songs.pk. Now, .pk, that stands for a domain which belongs to Pakistan, whereas .in that belongs to India. I'll just explain throughout the seminar that why is it a very, very dangerous thing to download from that particular site by the name of songs.pk. Now, remember this line that no privacy left, information that you share is general info, you give is specific. Whatever you're going to post on the internet, it will become public, invariably. Whether you post or share pictures also on your email IDs, or through your mails, you exchange any communications, invariably somewhere a mark of that would be stored on the internet. So your personal data would end up becoming public, whereas the information which you're going to get is already public. So if you go on Google search, the entire information will be known to the entire world, but the information which you're going to post was public, was very, very private to you, but will be made public pretty soon. Like in a matter of hours, the entire world can know where you've been, to which part of India you've been, and the kind of photos that you have clicked and everything like that. Now, as I said, it's a double-edged sword. Basic human nature, this is what we hackers generally attack. It's people say that hackers use very, very sophisticated weapons or something like that, but in India, if you want to hack, you use only two things. That is only greed, and the second one is desires. Now, I'm sure majority of you would like to know that how do we go about hacking. So I'll just say, this is a list of cyber crimes that invariably happens when we start hacking. In India, hacking started with the advent of the Nigerians coming over here. In fact, they were coming from outside. They made so much of success in India that they made home over here itself. There is a very, very popular, if any of you are from Bombay, you must have heard a very popular Nigerian Wadi. There is something, there was a group of whole Nigerians staying in 2 4-storied buildings, and it is almost impossible for even the police to go inside that kind of building. That's popularly known as Nigerian Wadi. Ultimately, they took the help of a few locals, they broke into that, and now it no longer exists. But there was a time that it was popularly known as Nigerian Wadi. Now, how do the Nigerians work? Nigerians they send you one mail, where they will write, you won so and so dollars and pounds, or somebody of your material uncle has just died and he has left a will, and it will go into some like $250,000 or pounds, which you when convert into Indian rupees, it would be nothing less of 20 to 25 lakh rupees. Now how they do it is they will send you a mail saying that suddenly you have won a very big lottery, and we Indians think that we are always lucky, and we might have actually won a lottery, what 2 lakh or 20 lakh rupees. Now along with that mail, they say that you have to give certain amount of your personal information, like your bank numbers where they can transfer the money, your PAN cards, your driving license, some identity proof that you are actually the owner or you actually reside over there. Now when you send the data, they say that the money is in a foreign country, like say Africa or maybe in UK. Now the money has to be transferred from UK to India, but since the money is locked in a bank account, they cannot pay for that money to be transferred. Now for the money to be transferred, they will immediately ask you to pay a very, very small processing fee, which would be 1% of the total amount you won. So 1% of 25 lakhs would be around about 25,000 rupees or something to that extent, and they ask people to pay that. People would assume we are getting 25 lakh rupees. What is the harm in paying 25,000 rupees or 50,000 rupees? When they pay the money, what happens is that after a few days, on their mail account, they receive an original RBI certificate, and I mean it, really mean it. They receive an original Reserve Bank of India certificate saying that the money from a certain bank of UK or Africa has been transferred to the Reserve Bank of India. Now from the Reserve Bank of India, it has to be supposed to be transferred to your account. So only one step remains. They will prove to you that the money has come to the Reserve Bank of India. Now from Reserve Bank of India, it has to be transferred to your bank, which could be HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, or whichever bank you are given. But for that, you have to pay another processing fee of maybe 1 or 1.5%, which invariably turns out to be another 50,000 rupees. Now people think that what is the harm? The money is already there in the Reserve Bank of India. Only one step remaining, and we are getting 20 lakh rupees, like nothing short of a lottery. They end up paying that sum of money also. So the total goes up to 1.5 lakh rupees. Once they end up paying the last installment, they wait for the money to come to their accounts. It never comes. When they try and call that person, or they bombard that person with lots of mails that where is the money, why has it not been transferred, the people say that unfortunately what has happened is that you are not the person who has received the lottery, it has been somebody else. It is the mistake of the US or the UK that somebody else has been identified as the winner, you are not the winner. Or in case if somebody has died and left you a will, suddenly he has become alive and that the money is to be transferred back to him. But now, point here is, you already paid 1.5, so obviously you will require money back. So if you want your money back, you just pay another 25,000 rupees. And trust me, half of the Indians have ended up paying another 25,000 rupees also just to get their 1.5 back. And recently they just all come over here. Half of them who are from, you can say, from tier 2 or tier 3 cities, like you can say from Indore, Bhopal, Udupi, Bangalore or somebody like that, they still believe that they have actually won the lottery and that the money would come to them someday or the other. They never realize that they are a victim of an Nigerian fraud or something that is known as financial crimes, such as stiffing of money from banks, credit card frauds, or money laundering schemes itself. This is one part of the Nigerian frauds, just one of the examples. In fact, Nigerian frauds have been going on in India for the past 2 to 3 years. Their success ratio is so good and they want so much of money out of that without even getting traced, that now they have started, they have got so bold that now they have started sending SMSs. And when they send an SMS, they actually give you an Indian number and they say that the person is standing right near the airport. So go and deliver the money to them, or you do not have the time to travel to the airport, the person will give it to you via courier. Just pay a deposit of 50,000 rupees and within like 2 or 3 hours you will receive the gift or you will receive the money into their accounts. This is how they are actually playing with the Indian minds, and suddenly they have shifted focus from the metropolitan cities to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, where again lots of people are becoming victims of the same frauds in itself. That is one. Second is known as thefting of money. Thefting of money is that there is a huge sum of money which they will collect from various bank accounts. So the total would come to 5 lakhs or 10 lakh rupees, where they just hack into the passwords of certain banking accounts of some HNI customers and all. They accumulate into one bank account of a particular country. You can say assuming Sri Lanka, or they will go into some or like some Swiss banks or Singapore or Malaysia, where they are known as tax havens. They will collect all the money over there itself. Or suppose if they want to transfer it from Malaysia to Sri Lanka or somewhere some other countries, how they go about doing is that from Malaysia they will transfer it to India first, and when they transfer it to India, they has to pass it on to 4 different people. It's like a chain that they form. So in India, the first sum of money of 25 lakh rupees would be given to one particular bank account in Delhi, where that person would be said that work from home. You will find a lot of schemes, like say, which will promote, like work from home, and in 1 week you will get 20,000 rupees, 25,000 rupees. You have to do nothing, no training required, and everything like that. What are these kind of schemes? How come you end up earning 25,000 rupees by sitting at home doing practically nothing, and within 1 week? This is the type of schemes that they generate. The scheme that says that you sit at home, all you need to do is make a bank account. Okay, go ahead, make a bank account, create a new bank account, activate net banking on that. Now what is the work that you have to do? Once your net banking is activated, they repeat in bold letters saying that you do not have to deposit any money in that bank account. They will say that please do not put any money which you have, like the newly bank account which has been opened. We will transfer the money into your account, which is to the tune of 10 lakh rupees, 15 lakh rupees or 20 lakh rupees. All you need to do is transfer that money to somewhere else, but you have to transfer it into 3 different parts. So that 15 lakh rupees, you have to transfer it to 3 different people. 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees, 5 lakh rupees. So the Delhi person will transfer it to one person in Rajasthan 5 lakh rupees, one person in Orissa 5 lakh, and one person in Calcutta 5 lakh rupees. For that, he would be paid a sum, a percentage commission of the 10 lakh rupees, which is equivalent to, say, they will end up paying 1.5. The commission goes up to 2.5. It can even go up to 5 depending on the sum. Now a 1% commission of 10 lakhs is nothing short of 10,000 rupees. The person has to do nothing, sit in an AC room, do something on the computer, just transfer to net banking. It is hardly any person who knows how to do net banking. It's like what, half an hour's job, max to max, that's all. And for that is getting paid 10,000. This is work from home, practically doing nothing. They have to no money to invest, and they're getting 10,000 out of it. And then they transfer it to Rajasthan. From Rajasthan, when the person receives that Rajasthan, the person who receives 5 lakh rupees, who is in Rajasthan, all he needs to do is break it up into more, and it will break it up more into like 2.5, and that money would be transferred to somewhere in Bihar and somewhere in Chandigarh. Now in 2.5, what happens is that again that 5 lakh rupees person will receive 1% of it, which will be equivalent to, like, of course 5 lakh rupees will receive maybe a percentage more, 2.5 or 10 or something or the more, but invariably the amount ranges from 10,000 to 25 to 30,000 rupees. Now the money has been transferred to Bihar. In Bihar, you get the person gets 2.5 lakh rupees. Bihar, the person does not have net banking account. He doesn't even have a banking account. It is transferred to a remote village in Bihar. It's like the person will only have an HDFC bank account or an ICICI or a particular banking account. One of my friend or one of the hacker's friend already stays in that village. Next day, when the money has been transferred to the villager's account, he will go to the villager and he will say, in your account, suddenly there has been a transfer of funds worth 3 lakh rupees or 2.5 lakh rupees. Now you need to come to the police station or the income tax and tell us how you got that 2.5 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees. And they really scare the villager. They say that, in your entire life there has not been a balance of more than 50,000 rupees. How come you got 3 lakh rupees? What kind of activity you have done. They really scare the villager, or they give the second option to the villager. That is, you can do a second thing. Take out the entire cash, like take the checkbook, go to the bank, take out the entire cash, keep 10% of it and pay me the remaining balance in cash. What do you think the villager will do? In India, especially in a country like, or in a state like Bihar, where a person gets 30,000 rupees just for withdrawing the cash, which has been mistakenly has been transferred to his account. Would he not go for it? And it goes up to that. Now the reason why they do this kind of trails is that because in India there is not much coordination. So when we start following this kind of trails, we come to know that the money was in Delhi. The 10 lakh rupees was in Delhi. So we investigate the Delhi bank account. When we go and investigate the Delhi bank account, we come to know that the money was transferred to 3 different states. So we have to make sure that we run in 3 different states. like in Rajasthan, somewhere in Odisha, somewhere in that thing. By the time we reach to that state, we come to know that it's suddenly been transferred to Bihar. So we have to go to Bihar. By the time we reach Bihar, the money has already been taken out. When we go over there, when we question the villager says that such a kind of a description of a person had come, he scared me a lot and he took out the cash. At the most, we end up getting only the description of that person. Now consider India's population. Do you think it is possible for us to catch a person based only on description, that too when the person must have travelled from state to state? Such are the kind of frauds which have been happening, like financial crimes such as thefting of money, banks, credit card frauds. Very, very simple. It's like, see, I'm an Indian, I am also a hacker. Now that is a very, very dangerous combination to be, because I know India's mentality very well. I know majority of you will not fall for that, that dollar thing, or for the bound things, or lottery mails, or that wills and everything like that. Educated people will not. But still, you will fall for one simple thing. If I send you one simple mail, 3 pe 3 movie ticket free, something like that. You get latest movies which are coming out, like Shah Rukh Khan's, Ajay Devgan's, Amir Khan's, any recent movies. And if I send you a book my show saying that 3 movie tickets free if you buy 3, would not majority of you fall for that kind of trick? And how do you end up paying for that movie tickets on the internet? It will be either net banking or you will be using your credit card. And as soon as you do that thing, I will get all your passwords with respect to your credit card or to your net banking accounts. One of the ways through which we do hacking is that we'll either send you a very popular movie song, Munni Badnamui, Shira Ki Jawani, or something like that. We'll send you a very popular movies, some picture files, or maybe we'll end up sending something like this, greed, desires and everything like that. And once you download that thing, exactly after 15 minutes, we'll come to know what you're going to do on the computer. So if you type A button, I will come to know you typed A. You write hi, how are you? I will come to know you written hi, how are you? You're chatting with anyone, I will come to know each and every chat what you're going to do. After that, every website that a person visits, we come to know the username and password of every website that is going to visit. So if you go on Facebook, we come to know the username and password for Facebook. You go on Gmail, we come to know the username and password for Gmail. You go on your net banking account, we come to know your username and password for your net banking accounts also. Nothing is missed, not a single character, not a single keystroke, not a single password. We make your mouse click as a camera. So every time you're going to click on the mouse, a photo of your desktop will be taken. So we'll come to know how many screenshots are there, or how many icons you have kept, what is the kind of wallpaper, and every other thing what you're going to do on the computer. This kind of software we run in your computer not for 1 day, but for 5 days, for 10 days, for months together, without even best of your antivirus detecting it, because we are binding it behind a picture file or a music file which none of your antivirus is able to detect. Now just imagine the power of the software where you are able to know each and everything what you are going to do on the computer. So is it not possible for us to catch hold of your net banking password or your credit card? You are going to pay for that movie ticket using credit card or net banking, and I being an Indian, I am actually an honest thief. I will actually send you the movie tickets because I know at what time you are going to go and see the movies. At that point of time, your net banking or credit card movie would be taken out somewhere else. Like for net banking or for credit cards, there is a very popular thing known as online gambling. What we generally end up doing is we use somebody's credit card, and if you heard about a very popular city by the name of Los Angeles, it's a very, very popular for casinos and everything like that, where they permit online gambling from across the world. The only way, or one of their rule, is that you can gamble, you can pay by credit card, irrespective of the fact that the credit card belongs to whom, to which nation, and to which Visa, MasterCard or something like that. You can gamble over here, and your identity would be kept anonymous, would be kept secret. That is one of their laws, that is one of their rules, that they will never disclose the identity of the gambler. So assuming you're seeing the movie at say 11:30 or a late night show, I get access to your credit card. What do? I start gambling on that websites, and I will not gamble not more than 3,000 or 4,000 rupees. Suppose in the first instant, if I lose, so what? I do not lose 3,000 rupees, it is you who are going to lose. Again the second time, I will gamble. Again I will lose. 6,000 rupees gone. Big deal. Third time, again I will gamble. 9,000 rupees gone. Like every time the gamble would not be more than 3,000 rupees. Up to 5 times, I would end up losing. So I would end up losing what, 15,000 rupees? But the money is not going out of my pocket. It is going out of the credit card. But on the 6th time, I might end up winning. the winning amount would be equivalent to what, 10 times. So if I am putting a gamble of 3,000, I will end up getting 30,000. But do you think I would return 15,000 rupees to the person who has lost before when I was trying? Am I that good enough, or will I keep the entire 30,000 with me only? I think you already know the answer. The 30,000 rupees would be kept with me, and then what we end up doing is that we end up tearing the credit card, or we just cross that credit card saying that this credit card work has been done, so put it by side. That is why, because we get a list of credit cards. Can you imagine songs.pk, the number of hits which you must be getting, the number of downloads which you must be getting? Can you just imagine, like 10 people or 10 lakh people downloading? At least 1,000 people, I'm going with a very, very conservative approach, at least 1,000 people of them must be using net banking or credit card as of now in India. The number tends to increase rapidly in the near future, but as of now at least we can assume 1,000, and this is how they're becoming thefts of it. Now another very popular thing happening over here in India, that is intellectual property crimes such as theft of computer source code, software privacy, copy infringement, trademark violations and everything like that. It's very simple. You make a website. None of them are very, very creative. You need to make the website very, very quickly. So what you do, you go into some other similar looking websites, take out their logo, post it over there and sell it to somebody else. So what happens when you sell it to somebody else, it becomes their trademark, it becomes their property, whereas you only designed and sold it to them. So in future, if somebody were to file a case pertaining to that logo or pertaining to that particular trademark, it would actually invariably end up falling on the person who has bought that website and not on the person who has actually designed the website. So the person who actually bought the rights for the software or for that website, he has to fight the legal case, whereas the developer will go away scot-free, provided there is no agreement. And in India, hardly any people make such kind of agreement when you're going to make websites. Even these days, there is something known as Information Technology Act, where now people, when you go into MNCs, when you go into banks, they end up into making an agreement with you. And now in that particular agreement, there is also written something known as some clauses with respect to an Information Technology Act, where it clearly says that if you are going to take out any source code or if you are going to take out any software privacy, you are not even supposed to download any illegal or pirated software onto that particular MNC's computer. You're completely forbidden. And in that agreement, it is clearly written that if you are getting caught downloading such illegal software or porn movies or something of to that effect, it's you only who are going to be held responsible, and you can easily be sent to jail under the Information Technology Act. Such are the kind of new agreements which have been kept into place. I'll give a very simple example of source codes and everything like that. There are a lot of engineers who come out every year, Bachelor of Engineering, everything like that. Their initial pay package starts with what, 3.5 lakhs, 4 lakh rupees, and they join a particular company. Now if there are 10 codes which are to be written as source codes, 10 modules, the first initial new fresher engineer is supposed to work only on the first 2 codes. Now after 6 months, he is well versed with the first 2 codes. So what does the rival company do is that he said that you are working on the first 2 codes and your pay packet is 3.5. What you do is that you come and join our company, we'll pay you 5 lakh rupees and join us. But you do not need to come alone, come along with the source code on which you are going to work on. Now consider a fresher, a new engineer who has hardly worked for 6 months. He's got a pay packet of 3.5, suddenly he gets a jump of more than 50%, and all he needs to do is put in a pen drive, take out the source code and go and work along with a new company. Would he go ahead with it? Many people have gone ahead with it and they have started working for 5 lakh rupees, and they have to now start working on the same source codes and everything like that. But in India, it's a very ironic kind of a thing that the people who went and worked for 5 lakh, they started working on the next 2 modules of the source code, that is 3, 4, 5 also. In India, it's a very funny thing. What happened is that, or majority of the time it happens is that, another rival company comes and says that if you're getting 5, we'll pay you 6.5 or 7, but come along with the first 5 codes also. So now what the companies are now trying to do is very simple. They will say, stay where you are, you work in the same company, but you just deliver us the source code. It does not matter how you deliver or give the source code of that software. You give it using a pen drive, or you give it using, send an email from that company, or you give it in a pen drive, but give us a source code and we'll pay you 1.5 lakh, 2 lakh rupees or 3 lakh rupees, something to that extent. This is very, very, very common. Software privacies, harassments such as cyber stalking, cyber defamation, indecent and abusing mail, common, quite common. Nothing to, I mean, in every aspects, it is very, very common in school, quite popular in colleges, and quite famous now and becoming even in the banking circles or corporates and everything like that. Particularly when it comes to colleges, there is something very popular known as cyber stalking, cyber defamations and everything like that. In every college, there is something that is very common now. There is a boyfriend girlfriend relationship which is going on. Now when the relationship is going on, everything is like heaven, you feel great, and so a lot of videos have been shared, pictures have been taken, a lot of personal chats have been going on and everything like that. But what happens when that particular relationship is broken off? Boys, they cannot bear the pain, or they cannot see that girl going out with somebody else. So they will be saying up only one line, that agar tu meri nahi hui to teko kisi ka bhi nahi hone dunga. It's like pure jealousy or pure revenge. And what they end up doing is that they simply post the pictures of that particular girl onto the Facebook and start defaming the girl. And God forbid, if he has got some very bad kind of videos, videos which are not supposed to be dirty videos kind of a thing, he does not post it, but he starts blackmailing the girl, saying that I have got such a kind of a video, if you do not come back to me, or there are some other kind of favors which have been asked from that girl itself, blackmails which have been even reached to the family. And concerning an Indian family, which is mostly on the conservative side, they would not like to have their repute go down, and they invariably end up paying 25,000 or 50,000 rupees like that, just because their girl's video or photo should not be uploaded on the Facebook. Because once you upload on Facebook, there is no turning back. Once it hits, because you have seen a lot of cases, particularly when it comes to, like one case, there was an MBA case, MBA girl who was in the final year. She was from very reputed MBA, this thing itself. Final year, placement was done. She was only supposed to give an exam, and she was getting a job in very good MNC. What happened was that somebody hacked into her boyfriend's email account, got access to that video, and uploaded, posted, and forwarded all that videos to the entire class. And the entire class came to know what the boy and the girl was doing on a particular video. Next day, when the girl came, everybody was literally laughing, smiling, showing the MMS clips and everything like that. The entire confidence of the girl was broken down. She invariably, at the end of the day, had to leave Bombay, go and settle in a native place. She didn't even got the job. She was fired from that particular college itself. She didn't even got to complete the MBA, and now nobody knows whether what she is doing in that particular village or not. It was because of one stupid, I don't know what transpired into that boy, but he invariably ended up posted, publicized, and forwarded to all. One simple mistake ended up costing that girl's entire life, career itself. So cyber indecent, abusing mails, now these things are also becoming very common, particularly in schools. Indian hackers have not even left school kids. This is not something to do with, you can say, monetary frauds. This is something to do with personals, defamations, and non-monetary kind of frauds. Like in schools, I'll give one simple instance, is that on a 7th standard kid's Facebook account, it was written over there, somebody went and posted, you are the biggest donkey in the world. Now considering my generation and my generations above me, if somebody were to say, you're the biggest donkey in the world, we would hit them back verbally saying that if I'm a donkey, you're also one of the biggest ASS or something like that. We would stop. At the most, we would end up hitting that person, but the matter would get solved over there itself. Now over here, this is the age of IT, or you can say the Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitters, where information is rapid, fast, you cannot stop it, because once it's gone, it's gone. Somebody went and posted, you are the biggest donkey in the world. Within 1 hour, there were more than 144 comments on that particular post. Comments saying that why did you write only donkey? You should have also written so and so many things. Why did you write it so late? You should have written it much earlier. And there were likes on the particular comments. Comments, likes, comments, and everything like that. It went on and on and on. The boy, he was initially quite surprised as to why somebody is writing like that and why people are commenting and why there is no stopping it, because half an hour it was still going on. It was like more than 144 comments ended up. At the end of 1 hour, the kid ended up going into depression, thinking that these are my same school kids, the same friends with whom I have, lunch, whom I share my things, whom we walk back home and whom I play cricket, and these are the people who are doing this kind of thing. He went into depression. 7 days later was his final exam. He ended up failing the final exam. When the result came, that is when the teachers and the parents realized that he been one of the brightest kids. How come he failed up only in the last exam? And that is when he was called for counseling. He told that such and such a thing happened. And luckily I was there. I ended up scolding that particular boy and said, you are really a biggest idiot. I would not say donkey, but you are an idiot. If such a small thing happened to you on Facebook, you should have gone and reported to your parents. It was not a big deal. When he heard this thing, he invariably ended up scolding me, saying that, Sachin sir, I don't think you are well versed with the Indian parents' mentality. I said, why? He said, you go to any Indian parent and then say that such a thing happened to me on Facebook. You know how they would react? They would say, stop your Facebook, stop your internet and concentrate back on your studies. You know, like, kal se tera internet band, Facebook band, chup chap baith ke padhai kar. This is how the Indian parents would respond, because they do not understand technology. And can any kid stop being on Facebook? Is it possible? It's not possible. And kids these days, they can never they can never stop commenting, posting, chatting on Facebook, and they will never say anything what is happening to them on the Facebook to their parents, because they know if they end up saying, it would be their last day on the Facebook. That is all. Parents, if they do not understand technology, they invariably end up shutting it down rather than finding a solution for it. Another cyber frauds which are happening, such as known as forgery of documents, including currency and other documents. This is very, very less in India as of now, luckily, because there is not much awareness, but there is quite a lot happening in UK's, you can say, with the Singapore currency, with the Saudi Arabia currencies and everything like that. We also come something known as launching of worms, viruses, trojans, denial of service attacks. You will see a lot. I will come to this in a very, very, very popular concept known as cyber warfare, which I'll be covering pretty soon in detail, where I'll be covering these 2 points, that how people are launching worms and viruses. Point here is they just want to bring that other person down so that their internet can go up. Suppose if you hit a competitor's service and bring it down, what happens is that the repute of that competitor goes down, and suddenly they look out for other alternates. They say, iska net barabar se nahi chalta. Who is the other person who is doing such kind of good nets? So this is where it comes. Cyber attacks and cyber terrorisms. This is where the future belongs to, and we'll cover that more in detail. Sale of illegal articles such as narcotics, weapons, wildlife. Now this is very, very popular. It is like the best place for you to sell anything. Post it on the internet, disguise it, and there you will find buyers across the world. All you need to do is sell it and post it over there itself. But of course you need to know a few websites who are there, who offer you complete secrecy, and you can sell such kind of products with quite an ease. Now, cyber crimes use computers and networks for criminal activities. Basically, as a hacker, our first rule is that we should defend ourselves. That is the first rule of hacking. If you have played chess, in the front there are pawns, behind would remain the king and the queen. So we require somebody as a tool, using whom we can go and hit someone. So what we do is we generally end up sending a lot of songs, pictures and everything like that. We get access to their computer. We make their computers something called as zombies, and using their computer we end up sending the viruses. Like say in India, one of the best ways, if in India, if you want to do a fraud, you can either use greed, that is give something for free, but the number one way in India that fraud would succeed is if you use, I'm very sorry to say this, I don't use that, but I know many people would use in future, if you use religion, because religion will always work in India. Consider a very popular festival, Ganpati festival, where Lal Bagh Chi Raja is a very popular thing. You will get photos of that Lal Bagh Chi Raja, and it will be said to you, forward it to 14 people, otherwise you are doomed. Most of the people would end up forwarding that thing. If Lal Bagh Chi Raja will not come, Siddhi ke Sai Baba will come. If not him, maybe Jesus Christ. But end up people who belongs to that religion will end up forwarding that thing. Now when you forward, what happens is that as per the IT Act, it is your mail, it is your internet, it is your computer who is actually forwarding those viruses to somebody else. So as per the Information Technology Act, you are the person who is spreading the viruses. So what we do is we make you as a tool, and once you become a tool and you forward it, we get the reports from all those people, and when we scan these reports and we find out that okay fine, that one particular person is using a lot of net banking, other one is using a lot of credit cards, somebody is working on that particular source code, somebody is working on that government file or the project or something like that, we then make them as a target, and then it is a combination of, sometimes they end up making both as a tool and as a target itself. But yes, the first thing that we require in order to do hacking is something known as tools, where the target or majority of the tools are, most of the time it's school kids who add up, who go on to Facebook and they will add up almost anyone. If they see friend ka friend, and they will add up almost, just keep on adding. The next thing is college kids. These are the two main groups whom we normally target. We just send something to them, make it very, very popular, and we make sure that they are going to forward it to somebody else. This is one of the ways. Now, Indian hackers, how they are going to make it. When it comes to IT and when it comes to hacking, the entire world has acknowledged the fact that when it comes to IT and hacking, Indian brains are regarded as the best in the world. And trust me, the kind of cases that we are getting in the cyber cell these days, I mean state-of-the-art intelligence fraud. Seeing the fraud itself, we are quite amazed that how can someone be so intelligent, and when we try and solve that thing, ultimately it turns out to be an Indian itself. So we realize that, okay fine, Indians are the best in the world, and this fact was proved by an Indian by doing one of the biggest frauds in the world. If you heard about a fraud by the name of Speak Asia, officially within a span of 3 months, it ended up, I'm talking about an official figure, it ended up collecting 1200 crore rupees from the Indian public without having a single registered office in India. Right from Kanyakumari to Kashmir, it ran a campaign, especially during the cricket World Cup. It ran a campaign giving advertisements in one of very, very popular newspapers and everything like that, where you need to pay a deposit of 11,000 rupees. Throughout the entire year, you will be asked to fulfill like 3 or 4 surveys, and at the end of 1 year, you will end up getting 54,000 rupees. Now, within a span of 3 months, they ended up collecting more than 1200 crore rupees. That is an official figure which I am talking about. Right now, there are 3 or 5 directors of Speak Asia, none of them are in India. All of them are outside India. All of them have got minimum 3 cars, and each car is costing more than 3 crores. This fact proves to the entire world that Indians have got the largest sum of money. And of course, when it comes to hacking, we are the best in the world. We do not require any high-end softwares. You need to target only 2 things. One is greed, one is desire. That it's what is working best in India. Job scams. Again, youngsters become the target. Most of the time you will receive a mail saying from a very popular company, saying from, let's say, Nestle, Cadbury, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, saying that you have been selected for the final round of interview. Your pay packet has been decided, 50,000 rupees basic, HR and everything like that. You will have to come for the final round of interview. If you are staying in Bombay, your final round of interview is in Bangalore or in Delhi. You will be paid for the accommodation. You will also be paid for the traveling. Now, for a student who has just graduated, and if he gets an offer from a company like, say, Nestle, Infosys, TCS, Wipro or Cadbury, saying that he has been selected for the final round of interview based on the project of what he has done in college, he has to only go for one interview, and his traveling expenses have been borne by the company, accommodation is borne by the company. All the student needs to do, all that particular student needs to do is pay a refundable deposit of 6,000 rupees. How many students would end up paying that thing? If we assume only 100 students end up paying a refundable deposit of 6,000 rupees just to get that particular job, it gives the hacker a minimum sum of 6 lakh rupees by doing practically nothing. We have seen quite a lot of students who have come to us and said, okay, Sachin sir, we do not mind giving another 6,000 rupees to whoever that person is, but kindly get us that job. They never realize that that job never existed, that they are a part of the scam, that somebody has already taken that money, but the money involved is so negligible for them considering the job that they always think, no, it is better if we get the job. We don't even mind paying 2 or 3 times of what we already paid, but give us that particular thing. This is jobs across India fraud. They end up targeting all the age group. Indian hackers, they will not leave anyone. They will not leave the school kids, college girls, college boys. They are not even left elderly people above 60, 65, 70. Any uncle, aunties, MNCs, corporates. Indian hackers have ended up killing people, getting their death certificate, getting the maturity policy out of LIC, and going away and running away with the proceeds. Or some other popular insurance companies, they have made a death certificate, they have taken out the money, and they have disappeared. And later on, suddenly the insurance company realizes when they receive something known as, their yearly installment payment, and then they realize, okay, yeah, this person was dead. He has already taken the maturity amount. Why is he paying us the yearly installment? And that is when they realize that the person is alive and he has got nothing to do, and somebody else has taken away with the money. This is the kind of frauds or geniuses or intelligence, that is what the Indian hackers have been up to. So they target all the age groups and everything like that. Of course, now I come to a very, very popular and hot topic, something known as Facebook. First thing, if you go onto Facebook, you can hack into a Facebook account, like particularly within a span of like 2 minutes. Those who are into IT, you will know something known as HTML vulnerability. You go onto Facebook, if you can do this, username and password. When you put the password, you just stop over there, take your mouse cursor over there, right click on that thing. There's something as known as the last option will come, something known as inspect element. Click on that, you will get one line, something known as input is equal to password, type is equal to pass, input is equal to ID. Now when you see the word password, double click on that password, change it to text, press enter, press escape, and on top you will be able to see the password also. That is one of the best ways to hack into a Facebook account without even using any particular software. That is simply known as HTML vulnerability. Another thing is that there is one very good software by the name of FaceSniff, a very popular software. If you are in a Wi-Fi, say in a college Wi-Fi, or maybe in McDonald's, maybe in CCD or something like that, and if you are using an Android phone, just download this particular application by the name of FaceSniff, and once you download, execute that software when you are in a Wi-Fi. What this software does is that when you are in a particular Wi-Fi, whoever else is in that particular Wi-Fi, who is going to be there on that particular Facebook, it will start giving you a list of all the people who are using Facebook on that particular Wi-Fi. And it will give you a list along with that particular page also. Like say if somebody is playing very popular that Farm Villa or City Villa, it will say the username and say Farm Villa. Somebody is chatting, it will say home page. Somebody is doing something else, it will say that particular thing. Now what you can do next is that if you want a particular user, just click on that particular user, you will be thrown on the same page on which that user is. So then you will actually be in the account of the user without even knowing the password, and then you can access the account just the way as he is using it. That is FaceSniff. Those are using Android. Go ahead and download. Obviously you are not going to find this in Google Play Store or something like that. You have to go and find in particular hacking forums or a very popular forum by the name of HDA developers. You can find that. You'll find a lot of hacking tools like that. Facebook records all the information. When you open a Facebook account, just open www.facebook.com, stop it over there itself. You read at the very bottom. I'm sure none of you must have ever read any terms and agreements of any particular software or any particular website. Over there, the very last, Facebook clearly says by signing in you agree to our terms and conditions, and now recently they have added that you also add to our terms and usage of our cookie use. That you will see that particular line which says that you agree to our terms of using the cookie use. What do you mean by cookie? How do you inject, or how does the Facebook record all the activities? They do something known as browser injection cookies kind of thing, like browser hacking. Like say if you are opening Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, Opera or something like that. Once you open Mozilla Firefox, you open Facebook. So what Facebook does is that it injects a cookie into the browser. Once it injects a cookie in the browser, it then starts recording all the activities happening in the browser. So next tab when you open is Gmail, it will record all the information with respect to Gmail. The next tab if you open Yahoo, it will record all the information with respect to Yahoo. If next is Google search, it will record all the information with respect to Google search. Now that cookie is so powerful that in the first tab, if you open Facebook, if for some reason if you log out from Facebook, but have you closed the browser? The answer is no. And where is the cookie? It is still in the browser. So Facebook, as per Facebook terms, it says that it records the user even after they have logged out from Facebook because they have not closed that particular browser. So even if you log out from Facebook but you have not closed that particular browser, it will still record all the activities happening in that particular browser. Now if you are very attentive, Facebook is displaying ads on the right hand side of your account. You go into Google and you search something, just for your experimental purposes, you go into Google and for one or two times you just go and type make my trip, travel trip, clear trip or something like that, and within, I can guarantee you, within one day, the next day on your Facebook account, on your right hand side, you will only see ads with respect to clear trip, make my trip or go Ibido or something like that. Google also does the same thing. That Google terms it in a very different manner, in a very sophisticated manner. It says we are using something known as AdSense, Google AdSense. So whatever words or keywords are there in your mail account, we will scan it and we think it is important. So with respect to that, we will display you the ads. But when it's going to scan the content of our email, what it inevitably ends up doing is that it is invading our privacy, which means it is seeing the contents of our email, but it says that we are doing it only to make your email better. That is how they term it. Google does it, Facebook does it, Yahoo does it, Twitter does it, LinkedIn does it, you name it. This is how they survive. Just imagine this thing. Yahoo is free, Gmail is free, Facebook is free, LinkedIn is free, Twitter is free. How come they are able to survive in spite of the fact that they are offering everything for free and giving loads of data? You can open in like various accounts, so many number of fake accounts and everything like that. How do they survive when people across the world are going to create free accounts out of that? So much of bandwidth, so much of data, don't you think they have to pay? Just do a little bit of research, go onto Google and just type Google offices across the world. When you see Google offices in Switzerland and Malaysia and something like that, it's a complete glass offices, completely made of glass, such a beautiful infrastructure and everything like that. You'll be amazed that it is one of the best offices in the world and been regarded as one of the best infrastructures, architects and everything like that in the world, in spite of the fact that Google offers almost everything for free. It's quite an amazing thing. But this is how Facebook does. Recent cyber crimes using Facebook, I do not need to elaborate. If you are in India, a very stupid thing, an idiot thing or something like that with respect to two girls who were there in Palghar, that somebody ended up posting, and a lot of controversy has ended up being, I think it is still going on, by God knows. But yeah, one thing it did was it awakened an awareness in the Indian public. There is something known as Information Technology Act, that if you do post something defamatory, or if you post something against some religious comments or something like that, yes, there is someone who is watching, and you can be asked to, explain why you did that, or you can even be put to bars, and put to bars would be around about minimum 3 years if you're going to, send a defamation mail, post something, and even if you post it, then if you delete it, but if somebody has taken that evidence, then that still be counted as an evidence in spite of the fact that you ended up deleting it. So this is how hackers end up using Facebook. These are the crimes. Facebook records all the information, face sniffs and everything like that. Now cyber crimes that generally occur within the organizations are email abuse. That is, this is very common, particularly in schools and colleges, even into corporates. Like there is a corporate office, there are few directors. Invariably, the directors will receive, or the board of directors will receive a mail saying that that particular director is having an affair with that particular recently joined girl. That principal is having an affair with that kind of girl and everything like that. So there is a lot of bombardment with such kind of mails that people get easy access to the principal's or the board of directors email ID. They just want to defend that particular girl or to bring that character down of the principal. What they need to do is create a fake email account and send mails and think that they will get away with it. So email abuse, spam mail, just continuously bombard the thing. I think Ekta Kapoor or people like Farhan Akhtar and everything like that, they continuously bombarded with this, with the actings, or somebody would send them scripts or promos and everything like that. Cyber defamation is in case things do not work out, the simply way to bring them down is what? Bring that other person down. If you're gone to a restaurant, if the service is not good, it was good or not good, your competitor will go and say, just post a review saying that the service was not good, and will pay you some 500,000 rupees. Because when you search for a particular restaurant in Google search, normally the restaurant will only have one website. So when you search for it, on the first thing it will come as a restaurant website, but on the second would actually come the review of that particular website. And in India, particularly people will not go for looking for that website, but they will first read the review rather than going for looking for that website. So now even competitors are now paying just to give up false reviews, because those reviews have now been shown in the Google search itself. So cyber defamation, theft of source codes, I have already explained. Exchange of business secrets and documents, same things. Insider attacks on personal database, very common. If you are holding a Vodafone card, you will still receive a call from Airtel saying that, okay, fine, you are holding a Vodafone card, would you like to convert to Airtel and everything like that. Use of computer information for running businesses, transmission of pornographic material, information espionage and everything like that. This is where the future of cyber crimes would belong to. Government related, income tax, railways, they are the biggest targets later on, because world across people are waiting for the Indian income tax to come online, because Indian income tax obviously have got a large sum of money. So does railways. Railways is particularly for personal reasons itself. Wi-Fi, this is where people are, because in India normally people end up providing the Wi-Fi rather than securing the Wi-Fi. They would, they will give the range to everywhere and across. 99% of the time the password of the Wi-Fi is admin. They will not even like to change the password. Even if they change the password, they will not remember the password, so will rechange it back to admin so they can remember that kind of password. So that is one thing. Online admissions, simple. If somebody's admission is, or an MBA list is supposed to come out for that particular institute, that online list is on that server, and hacker can go inside that particular server, change the name, take out 2 roll numbers, put somebody else's roll number, and that list will be displayed. This is as simple as that. And how will that any people come to know whose number was taken out and whose number was put in? Because nobody goes and find out whether the Excel change was exchanged or not. Grains of sand attacks, cyber warfare. India, China has got his own cyber army, which is continuously attacking into US. US has literally classified the kind of attacks which China is doing. Very popular attacks is known as grains of sand attack. Some like then is known as Titan Rain. I believe majority of you must have seen this movie Die Hard 4.0. If not, please go ahead and see it. You will actually be able to understand the concept of cyber warfare. Developed countries have already made an agreement that in future there will not be any nuclear warfare. There will only be a cyber warfare, because nuclear warfare involves loss of human lives, whereas cyber warfare does not involve loss of human life. They will attack the financial stabilities of the country, they will attack the stock market, they will exchange the bank data and everything like that. Like say in a soldier's bank account, instead of 50,000 rupees as a balance, if it is shown only as 50 rupees, where do you think the soldier will go with a gun in hand? Will it go to the front or will it go to the bank if his bank balance has been changed? This is what they intend to do into future. China has got its own cyber army. UK and US have identified that as the fifth cyber army. US has got Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and the fifth thing which has now started is known as cyber army. India have also started with its own cyber force. India is also going to create its own cyber army. I don't know when. Officially, maybe. Unofficially, it has already been started. We have already started giving trainings to quite a few government military people. We have already started training to the government officials. Now we have also received permissions to train the other IT professionals so they can be and unofficially a part of the Indian cyber force itself. But as of now, it is still on the unofficial level. But the way it becomes official, then hopefully we will also have a very good cyber army of our own. There is an Information Technology Act where you acts like hiding cameras in changing rooms, hotel rooms is punishable with jail up to 3 years. Publishing sexual acts in electronic form is again punishable with jail up to 3 years. You can go and study the Information Technology Act 2008. In case if you are not able to sleep at night, just read out this thing and within 10-15 minutes you will get good sound sleep itself, because this is quite a boring thing to read. Collecting, browsing, downloading of child pornography is punishable with jail up to 5 years. The punishment for sending obscene material by email is again has been reduced from 5 years to 3 years in jail. Compensation of cyber crimes like spreading viruses, copying data unauthorized is almost up to 1 crore rupees. In spite of the fact that in India, if you spread a virus, you will end up getting only 5 lakh rupees, but end up paying 1 crore rupees. This is how, the laws have been given. Mobile phones, I think you must have heard about call spoofing, call interception, SMS spoofing, and everything like that. These things are very, very common, particularly with respect to Android phones, because they are open source. Anyone can manipulate the codes, write something known as malware analysis and malware programs and everything like that. Send a copy of that malware program as an APK file, make it launch as an application. Once the user downloads that application, his entire phone comes in the control of the hacker, and he can then listen to the call conversation, he can get a copy of the SMS, he can get the phone contacts, he can get access to the pictures, the albums, the photos and everything like that. So this is what the future belongs to. This is completely what we are working on to. Right now we even can do call interceptions, listening to somebody else's or recording call conversations, surrounding the phone also, and anything like that. Personal information, how do you secure yourself? First thing is do not trust anyone. There is an age-old saying which our grandparents used to say, that when you go down or walk a road, please do not talk with strangers. The same rule, the same concept applies to you on the internet. That when you're on the Facebook, when you're on the LinkedIn, when you're on the Twitter, if some unknown stranger asks you some personal questions, please do not end up answering in a very specific manner. If somebody says to you, what does your father do, where do you live, you say somewhere in Mumbai, Hyderabad, Delhi, but you don't end up saying that this is my house, this is my address, and this is what my father does, particularly if you don't know who the other person is. Make sure that you have got firewalls, antiviruses with regular updates, and please use genuine antivirus. And by genuine, I do not mean that you download a copy of the antivirus, take a pirated key and then make it genuine. I should rephrase it. Please go ahead, buy an antivirus, use a paid antivirus, and then also update and scan your antivirus. Give out information which is general and not specific in nature. Have an insta alert facility, that as soon as you withdraw from a bank, a particular SMS will be sent to you saying that particular amount has been withdrawn from your bank. This facility is given free by the banks. There is no cost to such kind of facility, and every bank is supposed to give such kind of information now. Please go ahead and utilize this kind of this thing which has been provided by the banks and all. Always log out and sign out from your particular account. Don't think that closing the browser would actually log you out or something like that. Sometimes in their servers they are still shown online, which means somebody can still access your accounts and go and hack into your accounts and all. Particularly look out for HTTPS, and particularly look out for that padlock when you're going for a net banking account. These two signs, if they are not there when it comes to video chatting or when it comes to net banking and all, which means the site is not secured. This is my contact details, wonder_years100@yahoo.com. This is where you can contact me on LinkedIn. This is where you can contact me on Facebook. That is Skynet Secure. That is again one of my more email IDs. www.skynetsecure.com. That's a general public website where we ask people if they want any assistance on how to go and file cyber complaints, if they require any information with respect to forming a cyber army or filing a cyber complaints or everything like that, you can particularly visit that website, and that is my contact details. If you have any queries with respect to anything to do with cybercrime or hacking, you can always contact me over there, over on the phone or on the mail itself. And with this, I'd like to thank you all.